Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create multiple drag and drop locations for a drag and drop question. So in the example I've got on screen is a Sudoku puzzle, and each of these draggable items can be placed in different locations and still provide a correct result. So in storyline 2, you can only select one drop location per draggable item. But what I want to do today is create 3 different possible drop locations, and I'm going to be doing this with variables. So to start with, I have labeled all my pieces. So my draggable items are called purple 1, 2, and 3, yellow, blue, and green. And my drop targets are called G123, B123, and so on. Now, by labeling them, it makes it very much easier to create the variables. Now, what I've done under the drag and drop is just add in all the draggable items. So I've got those in the left column, and I've got all the drop targets in the right hand column. So if I left it as this, then the first green would only be able to go in one of the green locations, but I want it to go in any of these 3 locations. But to set it up, I just have to ensure that it's set as a drop target. So I've just put all 12 drop targets and all 12 drag items here. So that's all you need to do. And then I'm going to go to drag and drop items, and I'm going to tick return item, and I'm going to snap to center, and I'm going to tick this, only allow 1 item in each drop target. And then I'm going to go OK. So what I want to do is create a variable for each one of my draggable items. And when the draggable item is in a correct location, I want to set it to true, and if it's in a location that's incorrect, I want to set it to false. So to start with, I'm going to set up all my variables, which I've already done. So I've got blue, green, purple, and yellow variables, which represent each draggable item. I've used the true-false, so the true-false type here, and I have set them all to false. So when they are in the incorrect location, they are going to be false, and when they are in the correct location, they are going to be true. Now, to start off with, I'm going to select the first draggable item, and I'm going to create a new trigger. And I'm going to adjust variable, and it's purple, and I'm going to set it to true when object dropped on, and then I'm just going to click all 3 of the purple locations. So I've labeled those P1, P2, and P3. And what I also want to do is create a false variable. So I am going to click on this trigger, and I'm going to copy and paste it by going Control Copy or Control C and then Control V. And I'm going to double click on this trigger to adjust it, and I'm going to change it to false. And then I need to select all the other locations that are incorrect. So green, and I'm going to untick the purple because those are correct, and yellow. So now what I've prepared in advance is a way to see if your triggers, your variables are working correctly. So all you need to do is add in the variable with percentage sign either side. So I've got all 12 variables here, and when I preview it, it's taking a bit of time to load. There you go. So you can see that all the purple ones are set to false. And if I can't remember. Yes, so here it is. So you can see that the first one changed to true, and if I move it here, it goes to false. So anywhere else on the board. And here is also a true location, and I think that one should be as well. Let's just double check. So I'm just going to move my correct answer onto the board so that I can use it for testing purposes. How much room? I'm just going to move it up here, make it a bit smaller. Right, so that's my correct answer. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste those triggers onto the other draggable purples. So I'm just going to copy the true variables and paste it onto each purple drag item. Now what I also want to do is change, double click and then change the drop object. Oh, that's already changed. Okay, so and I need to change the variable to purple 3 and this variable to purple 2. So I'm just going to add the false ones to each target now, and I'm going to change that to purple 2, that variable, and on the third drop target I'm going to change that to variable 3. Is it? Okay. Now to test this again, hopefully it loads a bit faster this time. There it goes. Okay, so now I can see the correct locations for each of the purples. So obviously the learner won't be able to see this. We'll remove it before we publish. So the purple are all set to false, and when I move it there, it's true. If I move it there, it goes to false, and then if I move it here, it's back to true again. So now the second value is now true, and so that could work in any location. So now we've got all 3 set to true, and I'm just testing that all the false ones work. Okay, so those all work well for the purple. I'm going to go ahead and remove that second submit button by right-clicking on the base layer, properties, and I'm just going to deselect the slide navigation control as I have created my own custom submit button here. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same of what I did for purple for all my other colors, and I'm just going to copy and paste that onto yellow. And so now I need to change the variable to yellow 1, and I need to change my drop targets to yellow, and I need to take off these purple ones. and I'm going to copy and paste that for the other two yellows. Changing the variables as well, and the same for false. So I'm going to copy the purple false and paste it on the first yellow, and I'm going to change that to yellow, and so I'm going to keep it on the blues and the greens, and I'm going to add the purple and take off the yellows, and I'm going to copy that and paste that onto the second yellow and change the variable So I'm just going to go ahead and do that for the last two colors. Okay, so I think that's done. I just want to check that I've done these false variables correctly. So I also want to add green and purple to the false values. So I need to go through each of those and add them in. Otherwise otherwise it won't change to false when it's on the wrong square. And so keep the green ones on. Oh. Purple and yellow, and just check blue. Yep, so, and I'm just going to check that I've done the yellow ones correctly too. So I've got blue, green, purple. Yep. So got blue, green, purple. Yep. So I'm just going to check the third one. Blue. Cool. Okay. So I'm just going to save this and then do a preview just to check that the variables are working. So that purple true, yellow's true, and that changes to false, and green, so that one's not working, so just see if the other two greens are working. No, so that one is. So the third green's working, but the first two are not. So let's have a look at the triggers for that after I've finished testing. So yellow, true, true, and true. Blue is true, true, and true. Purple is true, true, and true. And so, yeah, so it's just the first two greens. So let's just check the triggers for green. So I think set green to true. Let's just check this. When so I can't see why that's not working. Just check that I've got the draggable items here.